Right, so now we're going to look at the rules for dividing by a decimal. Now, my advice would be when dividing by a decimal, don't do it. So we're going to look at how you can get around the fact that you're meant to be dividing by a decimal, and it will require you to make the decimal number into a whole number, and you can do that by timesing by either 10, 100 or 1000, and that will be determined by the original value of the decimal. So here we have 0.04. To make this into 4, we need to move the numbers 2 places, so we're going to times by 100, and if I times by 100, this will become 4. Now, because I've times by 100 on this side, I also need to times by 100 on this side, and 108 will become 12,800. So we can now do the division sum using the usual bus stop method. So 12,800 goes inside the bus stop, and we're dividing by 4. So 4 will not go into 1, so we carry the 1 across. Now 4 goes into 12 3 times with no remainder. 4 will go into 8 twice, and 4 will not go into 0, and 4 will not go into 0. So our answer is 3,200. And the answer to this sum, 12,800 divided by 4, is the same as the answer to your original sum, 128 divided by 0.04. So you do not need to adapt your answer at the end. The reason this is the case is you have scaled up both sides of the equation by the same factor. You times both sides by 100, so they are equivalent sums, but this one is obviously the easier one to do. We're now going to have a look at the second example. So this is 312 divided by 0.3. Now we have to move the decimal point, well, we have to move the number 1 place to make this 3. So in this case, we would times by 10. So if we times by 10, this will become 3. And we must remember to times by 10 on the other side as well. And this will become 3,120. So we now have the sum 3,120 divided by 3. So 3 will go into 3 once. 3 will not go into 1, so we put a 0 here and we carry the 1 across. And 3 will go into 12 4 times, and 3 will not go into 0. So the answer to both sums, so 3,120 divided by 3 and 312 divided by 0.3, both answers will be 1,040. You must remember to scale up both sides by the same factor, and this means that you do not need to divide by a decimal. You can convert your sum into a whole number division, and it makes everything so much easier.